Hi, I'm Joy. Let's talk about interceptions today. So, what is an interception? Let's take a look at my chart. All right, so in this chart, you'll see that the ascendant is the first house cusp, and then the second house cusp is right here. And you'll see that the second house cusp is in Aries, not Pisces. And that means that Pisces is intercepted. So you'll see there's a point right here in Aquarius, here in Aries, and then, oh, there's no houses in Pisces, so sad. And then here, the same thing is happening opposite it in Virgo. And what this means is that these houses, these signs don't have a good place to express themselves in life. So Aquarius expresses itself through my first house primarily. Aries expresses itself through my second house primarily. But where does Pisces express itself? It's internalized. So when we have internalized signs, we end up intensifying them, because anything that's internalized instead of expressed is intensified, and we feel it so strongly inside of ourselves, but we don't really feel it all that strongly, or we don't express it all that strongly in the world. It's like there's no natural place where we can do that. And what ends up happening as a result is we go through life with this really intensified area of life, well, two areas of life, or it's not so much areas of life, it's forms of expression. So like the manner of expression that is Pisces just doesn't find an opportunity, a place in life to express itself. So then later in life, it ends up coming out much more strongly. And one of the ways that we see this is sudden breakthroughs. You know, like I've got this book about interceptions. It's very good. I recommend it. It's called Understanding Interceptions, A Key to Unlocking the Door. And it's by Chris McRae. So, you know what? I need to stop the share. There we go. That's better. All right. So one of the ways that this expresses itself is through these like sudden bursts, like all of a sudden this thing that was internalized and intensified for so long, just bam, it just comes out. And when this happens, it comes out like a diamond. You know, it's been under all this pressure all this time, and we can feel very strongly about how we would want it to be, but we just don't get a chance to do it. So then once we do, like, man, it's really there. Another way it can happen is kind of like gradually over time, and there are ways to flow with this. So going back to the chart. So one of the things that you can do to help an interception express itself is to do it through the previous sign. So, for example, in order to get to my Pisces, I have to go through Aquarius. And a way that that's happened in my life has been through exploring different belief systems. So I'm not talking about like traditional belief systems, although I did certainly take a look at all of that, but like all of the weird ones, like Aquarius stuff tends to be weird. So, you know, I really had to explore that a lot, and through exploring it, I was able to find my own faith and my own mysticism. I said I was looking for the meaning under the mythos when I looked at all these different belief systems. So I didn't actually adopt any of them for myself. What I did instead was just try to hear like the underlying thing. You know, like language is an attempt to put into words an experience, and I was trying to like feel the essence of the experience instead of focusing on like the exact words themselves. And I looked at all the different like religions and like weird like new age kind of belief systems, which I don't mean that in a negative way. I love weirdness. Weirdness is great. Like Uranus is my chart ruler. Like I absolutely love weirdness. So when I say weird, it's you know, compliment coming from me. So anyways, like that's one way that I was able to access Pisces is through Aquarius. I needed to get into all these like weird fixed air things because, you know, Aquarius is fixed air. And then another way to work with this, go back to the screen share. Another way to work with this is to just embrace that it's not a thing for you right now. Like, so for example, I am an extremely perfectionistic person. It's a very intense thing for me with this Virgo intercepted. However, you wouldn't know it by looking around my life, especially in the past. You know, like if you looked around my home, it did not look like there was much focus on Virgo stuff. You know, there was, you know, organized piles sometimes, and that might be a little bit generous. You know, I didn't have the perfectionism in my environment. However, I really, really, really wanted and needed it. I just couldn't make it happen. It just couldn't find expression. And now I'm 39 years old, and I'm starting to be able to express this. But one of the ways that I work with it is instead of like needing things to be perfect in order to do them, I instead just let it be imperfect. Just embrace that like perfection is not something that works for me a lot of the time. You know, like I am making this video under light conditions that are not optimal. My hair is a little bit wild. It's a rainy day, humid day, and I've got curly. It's just, there are a lot of things about this video that are not perfect and up to my ideal standards. However, I'm embracing that imperfection and I'm just going for it anyway. So that is a way that I have been able to embrace this. So like, yes, parts of me are still like, you're like all lit up right here and not here, and I've moved my lamp like 4 or 5 times, probably like 6 times, and I haven't been able to fix it. And you know what? I'm just gonna go for it anyway because I want to do this video, and if I just need everything to be perfect in order to do it, it's never gonna happen. So here I am in my imperfection, telling you it's okay not to be perfect and to just do the thing anyways if you want to do it. So here I am. And that is one of the ways to work with an interception, is to just embrace it, you know, like know that it's going to come out later in life at some point and it's going to be good. It's going to be amazing, actually. Like the people that you like looked at earlier in life and thought, man, why can't I be like that? Why can't I just like have my home in order, you know, or why can't I just, whatever it is, you know, like, why can't I do that? Well, you're going to do a lot better than they ever did if they were doing it just normally all along. Like once it does come out, you know, it's going to come out well. So you can have faith in that. And in the meantime, just work with what you got. You know, we're all always perfectly imperfect, you know. We're never going to be just absolutely amazing in every single area of life. Just live. Just live. So anyways, what else is an interception? Going back to my screen share. Anytime there's an interception, there's also a duplication. What that means is that there are multiple houses in the same sign, and we see that here with Gemini and Sagittarius. So my 4th house and my 5th house are both in Gemini. And how this ends up looking is the 5th house and 11th house here end up getting kind of like swallowed up by the houses before them in a way. So there's something about my fourth house, something about my family, my early childhood experiences, my family of origin, my psychological foundations, that makes it difficult for me to really get into the fifth house stuff: fun, creativity, romance, self-expression. Like, these are things that, for whatever reason, the fourth house is just like not allowing to come out fully. And as far as that kind of thing goes, I would give the same advice and recommendations that I do with the signs that are intercepted. So the way to express this stuff, this fifth house stuff, is to go through the fourth house to get there. And that can be a pretty painful thing. Like, you have to address whatever happened in your fourth house that made it hard for you to get to your fifth house. You have to actually address that. And once you do, then you can really express your fifth house. I also would say the same about the 10th and 11th houses. So the 10th house is like how we fit in the world, like our public image, like notoriety, social status, that sort of thing. And when the 11th house gets swallowed up by the 10th house, it can mean that it's difficult to network, make friends, make a difference in the world, do the things that you want to do, because you've got like issues with social status or issues with what's expected of you. That's not fun. So, but I've got Uranus conjunct my midheaven, so I'm like kind of non-conformist about that kind of thing anyway. But yeah, just know that at some point in life, this is going to be this really awesome thing for you, but you need to address those earlier things in order to get there. And what else do we see with interception? Let's go back to the screen share again. So one of the things that almost always, but not like always happens with interceptions is that when you have, okay, so typically what happens with the angles, that's the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th house cusps, otherwise known as the ascendant or rising, IC, descendant, and midheaven, or MC. What typically happens is they're all in different elements in the same modality, and ideally they square each other. So squares are a challenging aspect, however, they stimulate a lot of growth. And when this happens with our angles, it gives us opportunity to grow in all of the 4 major areas of life. Who we are as an individual, who we are with our family or in private or around our house, our private life, who we are in relationships, and who we are to the public, our general reputation and public persona. So when these areas square each other, we can like really grow in all of them, right? But when they don't square each other, and especially when they're in different modalities, that challenge isn't there, that tension isn't there to build on. So it becomes like almost a little bit too easy potentially. So like that challenge that stimulates growth isn't there, and it can be actually more difficult to thrive in family life, well, in all of those areas, without the other areas frustrating and challenging and stimulating them. So that's another way that this can happen. I do want to address house systems very briefly here. I'll show you. So what I have this chart pulled up in is Campanus. Campanus is my current favorite. Oh, I just realized, oh no. See, this is another imperfection here. I just realized that I did not do the screen share that I was trying to do. here we go. There's the screen share. All right, so you'll see I have this drawn up in Campanus, and let's go back to chart selection and change it so that it's in, let's say, Placidus. Whoa, look at that. Now I've got Aries and Libra intercepted. Oh my goodness. So obviously, since this is the default that most people use, this is what I started using. And I actually got this book when I was still using Placidus. And at first I was like, what? My Aries placement's intercepted, my Libra intercepted? No way. Like these definitely show themselves in my life. Like I'm a very, very Aries person. I'm a very, very Libra person. But then I had to take a moment and think about it. Like, am I really as expressive of these as I like to think I am? Like, maybe I'm not. Like, maybe I am not actually as direct as I like to think I am. Maybe I'm not actually as diplomatic as I like to think I am. Like, maybe this stuff is intercepted. And I did actually experience a few epiphanies and some healing related to that, but very, very quickly it stopped resonating, and I simultaneously, for other reasons, decided to start looking at other house systems. And then I went to Porphyry. Now in Porphyry, I have Taurus and Scorpio intercepted, including my moon. And oh, that really, really resonated with me. I was like, oh man, intercepted moon, like very difficult for me to express myself emotionally, and it was at the time. And I went through another level of healing, and having Taurus intercepted, oh, like, yeah, that really resonated, and, you know, kind of stung at the time too. So then I went through a healing process related to those interceptions, and then like that didn't really resonate anymore either. Like I felt I had addressed that, and I've grown as a person. Then I ended up on Campanus, and Campanus is what I've been using for a while. I actually went through a process of like looking at all of the house dispositors, which is a good subject for a different video. And when I did that, I found that Campanus seemed most accurate for me. But what I think that it is that different house systems work on different levels of being and at different levels of spiritual development, and for different areas of life. So depending on how you use astrology and where you are in your psychological and spiritual development, different house systems are going to resonate better than others. Now, I also want to show you, you can actually just get rid of the potential for interceptions altogether by using equal. So with equal, there are no interceptions because every house is exactly 30 degrees. Or you can use full signs. So with both of these, you will never have any interceptions, and some people swear by them, and I'm not telling you which one you should use. Whatever works for you, whatever resonates, whatever feels right. I do recommend that you, even if you find a personal favorite, that you be open to change as time goes by, because like I said, like different house systems like work at different times depending on where you are in life and what area of life you're trying to evaluate. So do what you want to do, basically. Anyways, I think that's about it. Oh, no, there is one more significant thing with this. When you have a planet intercepted, it's very, very similar to, let's see here, going back to Campanus. It's very similar to if that planet were in retrograde in your chart, like it ends up being more something that you, more of an introspective thing, and it's not as easy to express it outwardly. But when you get to the point in your life where that sign comes out like a diamond from being under all that pressure, you will find that that planet comes out really, really well, like right with it. So that's something to look forward to if you have an interception. And I do also want to show you, if you're looking at a chart and it's kind of hard to tell where the interceptions are, you can go ahead and click on additional tables. And then there's this here, there's this chart over here with the houses. And if you see any repeated, like you can see Gemini and Sagittarius are repeated here, you know that you do have an interception in your chart, and you can kind of just go through and be like, okay, what is it then? So I've got Aquarius here, and the next one is Aries. I'm missing Pisces. Pisces is intercepted. So if it's hard to tell just by looking at the circle chart, you can instead click this, additional tables, and look at the PDF and see there what's going on. And that is about it. I would love to hear your questions and comments, so go ahead and leave them in the comment section. And I would appreciate it if you would subscribe if you feel so inclined. Thank you very much.